and you have the seatbelt. Okay, so if they're usually high level, a lot of times they're gonna be covering their choke hand with that top hand, right? So a typical baseball bat control, what you commonly see is like this hand that people put on top of the wrist, and this one they cup like this. So, but the issue is that if they're very strong, you're kind of not at the end of the lever because she's covering that. So then she can kind of almost like muscle through, yeah, and then I go jam my arm up, and not necessarily saying that it's gonna be easy for her, but it's possible. So what I like to do, and the other issue with it is she can just, like, even if I'm defending properly, she can just grab my lapel, like, right there, and now that's a really, really big deal because she can keep working her hand, like up the lapel, and then have a very tight grip in the end, okay? So, starting with the seatbelt, I don't want her to grab this lapel, so actually what I'm gonna do is, stop the ground. All right, so I'm gonna grab hooking above the hand and below the hand, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm gonna grab the fist, like with my hand like on the knuckles, all right? With my thumb and everything, grabbing all, not the fingers, but kind of around the knuckles like this. So I'm here, and now while I hold this hand, I'm gonna put the lapel away from it and re-grab. So now, if they go to grab the lapel or bring the end of the lever around my neck, it's very difficult. So now, I'm gonna start to put my weight on this side, okay? And I'm gonna put my elbows, if I can, inside the knees so it's not easy to body triangle. So now, as I go to this side, what I'm gonna do is start trying to put my head on the floor and get my shoulder out. So you wanna get your shoulder out this way. Now I'm going to the armpit side when I fall on my side. Once I put my head on the floor, I'm trying to get this shoulder on the floor, and then what I wanna do is use my legs and drive my hips up, and then move my head away from her and walk on my shoulders. Now, slow down. So keep the seatbelt for a second. So now, as I'm here, I'm gonna start lifting my hips. She's probably gonna cross her feet from this point, and I'm gonna start getting my arm, pushing on the leg, walking on my shoulders, okay? Putting pressure, and I wanna break this lock with my hips and my hands, like that. Once I break it, okay, I've got some options where I want to walk away, and look, I want to get my elbow between me and their neck. From here, I want to escape and get my knee inside, and then hip escape a little bit out, and as they try to come on top, I get both knees inside, and I can enter into, a leg lock, or getting under them for sweeping positions. Okay, so all in one motion, we're gonna look at it again. Seatbelt, cover the top of the hand, push the lapel away, grab. Now, I go to the armpit side, drive, get my shoulder out, drive, walk on my shoulder. She tries to come up on top. Get my knees to the inside. You need to cover this leg, grabbing that leg. If you don't, she might take her foot off, do something crazy with it, okay? So it's all about driving your hips and making your shoulders heavy and moving away from them. So you want to take your back, scrape it off their chest, and that's how you escape. Now, the common mistakes is you don't break that lock, so their feet are crossed on the side of you, and you don't break that lock, and then they end up getting mounted. So you've got to start putting a lot of pressure on that knee and tripping and getting your knee out, hustling right there. Okay, the other option is, when they're on the side of you, is to start to come up and get to the top. Like bridge, spin, and get to the close guard, like spin to your knees. And that's a pretty good starter kit for solving some of these back dilemmas. All right, cool.